Hey, it's Greg Schweitzer, the founder and chief catalyst here at Catalyst Transformation Institute, and I've got something special for you today. I really want to be able to help you gain back more of your energy and your time and your sanity, okay? I want to offer you some rescue today. You ready? All right, so what I want to talk to you about today is the power of leverage through systems. Now, I know, you've probably heard the word leverage and you've probably heard about systems, but I want to show you a powerful way to be able to take a look at this scenario, to take a look at this opportunity to help you get what you want and be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. And it's going to look like this. It's going to look like the 4 B's of leveraging through systems. So, first off, let's look at some definitions. The definition of leverage. Leverage is basically getting more done with less of your effort and your time. Okay. Anytime we need to get something accomplished, it takes us time to get it done, necessarily, and it takes some effort on our part, or at least it takes some effort. Okay. So leverage is basically getting more done with less effort and time. Great. Now we've got that down. Now, let's define a system, because we are leveraging through systems. So what do we look at? What's a good definition of a system? Here's the best working definition I found of a system. A system is a step-by-step process that produces a predictable result. And this is going to be really important to understand that definition and to remember it, because otherwise systems are not helpful. Systems aren't a form of leverage if you're not doing it this particular way. A step-by-step process that produces a predictable result. The only reason we do something is to get a result, but we want that result to be predictable so that the system we're using gets us the same or similar result time after time after time after time. Now, that particular result hopefully is the ideal result. So how do we do this? How do we leverage, do more with less time and effort through systems, which is a predictable result coming from a step-by-step process? So here's how we do it. Number one, the first B of the 4 B's is to build a system. Da-da-da, woo, there it is. Okay, build a system. So how do we do that? How do we build a system? Really easy process with this. Number one, you do the work. Whatever it is that you need to get done, you do it. And while you're doing it, you're going to document. So you do the work and you document the work, meaning what does it take? What is the tool I used? How long did this take? What was the action that needed to happen, and so on, and you document it, and you basically make a checklist out of that. Third step of this, under build a system, first you do the work, then you document the work, and then you delegate the work. Hello, there comes the effort, somebody else's effort, not yours, and the predictable result comes from the system. Got it? Okay, now you've been leveraged. So building a system as simple as do the work, document the work, and delegate the work. Great, that's the first B. The second B of leveraging through systems is to borrow a system. So if at first we could have the opportunity to build a system if we wanted to do it from ourselves, okay? Or you can borrow a system. So when it comes to borrowing a system, the bottom line is that somebody has gone before you and done the thing that you want to get done, maybe even in a really, really good way. So here's some sources of adopting or borrowing a system. It could be mentors and coaches. It could be books. It could be colleagues like you network with and you're like, hey, how do you do this, right? Maybe people in your industry or people outside of your industry so you can get a new perspective and borrow from a different industry or a different perspective to be able to borrow a system. And so now you've got somebody who's already doing something, you bring it into your world, okay? You borrow it, you adopt it, and then you implement it. Here's the key. When you're borrowing a system, you need to make sure that that system is successful, that it actually gets the predictable result that you're looking for. Remember, system is a step-by-step process that gains a predictable result. So you find a source, you adopt the process or the system, and make sure you implement it and it's successful, and then you adapt it as needed. So even if it comes from a different industry or you've got a certain preference or you want to put your own flavor on that system, perfect. So you've built a system by doing the work, documenting the work, and delegating the work. You borrow a system by finding a source like a mentor, a colleague, a book, or something along those lines. You adopt it and implement it, and then you adapt it as necessary, okay? The third B is to buy a system, okay? So you can build one from scratch if you want to. You can borrow one from a colleague or a friend or somebody, a book or something like that, or you can buy a system. Like I said, somebody has gone before you and found out a successful way to do a lot of the things that you need done in both. By the way, this is really applicable to both your business life and your personal life, right? So the idea with buying a system is you spend some money for someone else to either build you the system, or they've already have a system that they've been using and that they've built that you can buy from them, right? You spend money on it, you purchase it, knowing that it has to be a successful system. You don't want to buy somebody's system that doesn't really work, right? Buy a successful system, then you implement it into your life and or business, and then you adapt it as necessary. You see how easy this is? See, the bottom line is the way that when we systematize things so that we can have a predictable result, that system allows us to do more with less effort and less time. And there's multiple ways to be able to get a system to work for you. You build one, you borrow one, or you buy one. So what's the fourth B? The fourth B is the benefits. That's the whole reason we're doing all this. That's the whole reason we're having this conversation, is to have the benefits of being able to leverage through systems, for you to be able to put less effort and time into getting predictable results in your life and in your business. So what are the benefits? Number one, energy. Energy. So if somebody is putting less effort into something because it's systematized, or they've handed off that system, delegated it, handed it off to somebody else, your energy is going to be, you're going to keep more of your energy because you're putting less of that effort into the system or the process or the project that you need to get done. So energy is number one. Number two is time. Okay, they're not making it anymore. Okay, time is something that's interesting. And if you're thinking about, I'm just really good at time management. No, you're not. No, you're not. For two reasons. Number one, you can't manage time. Time is not manageable. Everybody gets the same 86,400 seconds in a day. Okay, the same 24 hours. It's a matter of how you maximize and use that time. And systems is one of the single best ways to maximize your time, so that you don't have to worry about how much you have to try to manage time, which is not possible anyway. Why do we spend time doing things that we can't do? Why do we spend time and energy trying to do stuff that we can't do, like manage time? Just maximize the time that you have through a system and some form of leverage. Okay, what's another benefit? Money. Money, 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 money. Okay, money. So money is important. And even if you end up buying a system, what you're doing is you're buying back a lot of your life, your time, your energy, your resources, and those kinds of things. So with more time, you can make more money. With more time, you can save more money. When you delegate to somebody else, you're spending a few dollars an hour for that person to do it instead of the hundreds of or thousands or millions of dollars that you're worth per hour, putting in the same kind of effort. Okay, so money's another way that you're benefiting here, which, by the way, more time allows you to spend more time making more money if you want to on money-making activities instead of doing the less meaningful, more mundane types of activities. Okay, so here's the question. And this is what I want to finish off with you today. If you can build a system, borrow a system, or buy a system, and implement it into your life and your business, buying back your energy, your time, and your money, what will you do instead? This is the key question that's going to get you motivated to actually leverage more in your life. It's also the key question that's going to help you be able to be more successful and have more of what you want, is what will you do instead? If you're not spending your energy on doing the activities that have now been systematized and or delegated, what will you do with that energy? If you're not spending time, trying to manage your time, okay, what will you do with all that time? What will you do with that extra time, because everything else, or a lot of everything else, is systematized and or delegated? What about the money? What about the extra money you're going to make and or save? What will you do with that? Listen, I'm telling you that some of the main resources that we as human beings rely on is the energy that we show up with every day, the amount of time that we have in a day, and the amount of money that we have in our life. And those are the three major resources in our lives as human beings. And just through leveraging through a system or systems, you can buy a lot of that back for yourself. And the question is, what are you going to do with that? You become infinitely more rich with energy, time, and money. What will you do with that? I want you to do great things. I want you to have great things. So hopefully this was helpful to you. I'm sure that it was. Okay. You know that I'm a fan and that I love you. So be great. It's what you're made for. See ya.